Welcome to this week's episode of Breki with Belle. Remember, whatever you send to me remains completely confidential and you remain absolutely anonymous. So, this week's first question is, what do you do if you've had a member of staff with you for a while but they are actually going to leave to become freelance or mobile? Now, it's kind of an unwritten rule actually in a salon that you go and poach clients, but what happens if these clients have become really close and really good friends to you? This is a real tough one actually, because I understand from both perspectives. I've worked as a freelancer and also I'm a salon owner, so I get it. I believe that the clients that want to follow you, you will already be friends on social media platforms, that they want to go with you. I think that they will find a way of finding you and actually booking in with you without feeling the need to kind of poach or upset your boss. So the second question of this week's Breki with Belle is, in lockdown, I extended my salon and I decided to take on a series of self-employed people. This is the first time I've done it and I work to a certain standard, but what do I do if one of the self-employed members of staff that I have taken on with a contract, their work is just not very good? Their colour is rubbish, their extensions aren't blended or fitted properly. What would your opinion be on this? See, this is a tough one because actually, you know, they are self-employed. So effectively, they should be bringing their own clientele. They should be sorting their own bookings. And actually, whatever they're doing in that chair really shouldn't have any sort of worry to you at all. I think if you're after a certain standard of work, I think that ideally what you do need to do is you need to create a brand. And I think it's very difficult to create a brand with self-employed people. So actually maybe look at switching to employment. Other than that, you know, I would probably go out of my way and offer them a little bit of training and try and, you know, teach them how the kind of standard that you want. But again, if you're looking at that legally, it could be, you know, walking on glass. So the third question this week, I am a salon owner and I've just been assaulted by one of my freelancers. She has physically left a bruise on my arm. Would you terminate the contract? Would I terminate the contract? Of course I would. Run for the hills. Like, there is a line that you don't cross. And actually, if you're going to physically assault somebody, it means that she's got no regard for you, and it certainly means she has got no regard for your business. So just get rid. So this week's fourth question is, actually, do you know what? I really felt for you on this question, babe, actually. So I have had a client ring me this week to tell me that while I nipped out for a sandwich, my team was basically slagging me off and slagging the salon off in front of my client. And I've had the weight of the world to carry around trying to keep my business open because of COVID. You know what, I totally get that. And do you know what? The first word that springs to mind is meeting. It only takes one bad apple to spoil your cart. So basically, you have to be truthful, you have to be honest with them. But do you know what? You've got businesses all over the country right now. You've got Victoria's Secrets that's gone bankrupt. You've got, you know, companies that have stopped production. Anyone that's in a job at the brink of the biggest recession that we've ever experienced should be really thankful for it. However, saying that, if there is any issues, I think a team's a team and you've got to sit down and you've got to work it out together. And finally, guys, the fifth and final question of this week's Breki with Belle. This week, I've had a very nasty status written about me on Facebook by a family member of a client that we did, and it's in regards to our price increase. And they actually wrote, and I quote, I rob pensioners. However, it wasn't the client that wrote it, it was a family member, and the client that paid the price increase also tipped the stylist a fiver. What would you do in that situation? Well, what can I say? Sorry to laugh. There's nothing as weird as people. I would leave it alone because you know what? You're not always going to please everybody, and not everyone is a business owner. So not everyone's going to sit down and realise why the haircut's doubled in price or why the balayage has gone up 30 quid because they don't run a business. So personally, I would leave it alone. It's not the lady that had it done that's wrote it. So maybe she'll come back, maybe she won't. But actually, you know what? Worst case scenario or best case scenario, it leaves space in your chair for someone that's willing to pay your price. So I wouldn't worry at all.